This was probably my favorite one of the week so this girl opened up this bar that's called a sports bra.
Let's play on words.
Mm-hmm.
Good for her.
And what it is, for people who don't know, so they opened a bar that shows only women's sports.
Yep.
Yes.
I'd like to quote the great Chris Rock when I say grand opening, grand closing.
Well, guess what city it's in?
Portland?
It was in Portland.
The dreams of the 90s.
It's sort of getting a lot of play too, so maybe it'll be okay for a second. But basically he said, anyone can find a bar that shows men's sports. But Jenny wanted to change that, so she opened a bar in Portland that only shows women's sports. Also, any dude, it is sort of funny going to the sports bra, because the only reason you'd ever be there is to pick up chicks, right?
And it's obviously a lesbian bar.
Right. So, yeah, because you're right. If you are a lesbian bar and you want to watch rugby or whatever, right?
Yeah. The thing is, honestly, I don't know if there's enough sports.
Well, this is what she said in one of her things. She said 95% of sports coverage are men, right? So she said she wanted to make up for the remaining percentage. But if there aren't any women's sports being broadcasted at the time, they just have the TVs turned off.
Because I was in a bar a couple weeks ago and they were playing the women's national championship.
All right.
And the women's national championship gets played.
Yeah.
You'll have women's Olympics, soccer, World Cup stuff, all women's Olympics. So you have every time the Olympics rolls around, every 2 years for 2 weeks, you have sports content. Then you have WNBA, which gets decent play in America. And then I think
you have to. No, I think they have to be like women's darts. They have to be all sorts of wacky shit.
But I'm just saying that's not televised. There is no. I'm talking about stuff that is televised.
No, that's her problem. She said she's working with media companies. I'm not sure what that means to try to get more women's sports out there. The sports. She's trying her sports bra fame. She's been.
She could set up like a webcam at like a local high school or something.
Well, I guess that's what that's what you have to do. You have to try to get some
colleges.
Feeds.
Actually, there are like you can get local college feeds.
You have to get a lot of different feeds.
Field hockey.
She has to try to get wacky feeds from a bunch of wacky places.
Those do exist.
Where essentially instead of having, the NFL game
but you're not going to be watching professionals.
Well, no. I mean, you aren't either way. Isn't that so funny, though, that she said it? She's like, they just turned the TVs off. So you go to the sports bra and there's nothing on. They should just play reruns at the very least.
YouTube, just play WNBA reruns.
Why are the TVs off? Oh, because of the patriarchy, maybe? Have you ever heard of it? So if you're a dude, you go to the bar and you just like saddle them next to a girl. You're like, women's sports.
Oh man, if you're a guy, you're probably super unwelcome because they know, especially if you're not an overtly gay guy and you show up there being like, even if you are
nothing I like better than the game.
Say you are like a fan of WNBA, which they exist, and then you show up, they just think you're there to make fun of it. There's no way you're going to be welcome there.
But the best part is that they have TVs off most of the time. You're right though. It's a lesbian bar.
It's a lesbian bar.
Which is fine. Thank you for watching that clip, supporting the channel. If you like the Boyscast, there's a new episode every week at patreon.com/theboyscast.
That's patreon.com/theboyscast.